continues to give you more.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
Where it's time for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time.
And here's the pitch.
It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know.
Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide
at the Zone1059.com.
All right, here we go. Let her rip, Tater Chip. It's a Wednesday. Welcome in. Halfway point of the week. Halfway point of this week, anyway. Welcome into the show. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau all across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes. That's your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. I'm glad to be with you here today. Well, I'll let the cat out of the bag. We do have a lot to get into. You know, there's football, there's basketball. Headlines. There's golf. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. It's Wednesday, January the 14th, okay? But here's the thing. We literally have a story about coconuts. You're going to want to hear it. I'm just telling you. How's that for a tease? You're going to want to hear it. And you may want to be a part of the show by commenting or calling, and there's lots of ways for you to do that. And I hope you will. First up, you can comment on the live stream. Hey to you. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or X out there in social mediaville, feel free to just post a comment. I can see it. We'll pop it up on the screen and then chat with you that way. You can also text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. The number to text is 885-3776. Got it? 885-3776. Love to hear from you. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best, hands down. And give me a call on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. That's a little while. So the number to call is 897-1059, 601 number 897-1059. Like I said, you've got headlines coming up. We got plenty to get into. You got basketball results from last night, another game tonight, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to talk about that, it's cool with me. Let's see, Sven, the first to comment today on the old live stream over there on YouTube. He says, "Hail State, everyone. For the first time in the portal era, Mississippi State didn't lose a key player to other teams." He says Jones and Smith back in the secondary. Evans back to him at the receiver. Fluff back in the backfield. Camario back. He says, I like that. Well, me too, Sven. And, I haven't kept it with it that closely. I like kind of for it to all just get over with, finish. Tell them who's on the team when spring practice rolls. I'll go out there, give me a spring roster. We'll start to learn them then. Once we see who's actually in a uniform, because so many things change so quickly. And then we do it again in the fall because, sometimes people leave after the spring or have. I don't know what even the rules are now. But all that is good. I will say, though, coming out of last year, this was the most obvious thing for any quote-unquote analyst like myself to actually say. But the biggest key for State were the two number ones, number one on offense and number one on defense. So Camario Taylor and then Kelly Jones. Kelly Jones is, even as good as he was a year ago, which is like first round type of tape good and talent and size and length and all that, he's still I don't know that he still realizes just how good he can be. His ceiling is, you can't see it. He has a real chance to be really special. And you talk about big to get him back. I saw that the other day. There's your reason to celebrate right there. Kelly Jones is a three-play guy where you're an NFL evaluator, and let's just say you hadn't watched a lot live. You're getting tapes, you're watching film, you're on the internet. You watch three plays, you go, okay, that's first round talent and size, move on. That's all you need to see. There's no point in watching the rest. You don't need to watch the rest. You can watch three plays, that's all you need. He's a three-play guy. That's what he is. Yeah, it is that hump day. Beaver kind of talked me out of calling it that all the time. I used to really go overboard with the whole hump day thing. I overplayed that hand, as they say. Danny on YouTube gave us a Hail State and said the Lord is good. Yep, he sure is. I sure am glad he is. Okay, Sven educating me. There's no second portal window anymore. Okay, good. When this one closes, that's your roster. Okay, I like that better. I only have to learn the roster once now. I mean, really, Sven, there was a couple of years there where I had to learn the roster in the spring and then relearn it in the fall. That's good to know. Here is what I meant to tell you about coconuts. We had a guy on the Mississippi Outdoors podcast from Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks named T.A. Y'all know a guy named T.A.? Big time, he's a hunt fish guy. I mean, a big time hunt fish guy. He's also a big time baseball player. They put that episode out today. Okay? Put it out today. Tanner Allen, former College Player of the Year, won the College World Series with Mississippi State back in the day. Tanner Allen. All right? Listen to what he said, because he had, at the time we recorded the conversation with Tanner, he had just gotten drafted into the Banana Ball League.
Somebody asked me the other day, or my dad's like, man, what do you think about this? I'm like, Daddy, if I get to step on the field for 2 hours a night and entertain somebody in the stands who might not be having a great day, might be going through some of the normal chaos that happens each and every day, if I could be a light to somebody on a baseball field for 2 hours and be able to let them escape that, I'm going to do it. That's why I made the decision I'm going to do it.
All right, so who drafted you?
Loco Beach Coconuts.
Loco Beach Coconuts, and where is that located?
So it's going to be out of Savannah. We're all out of Savannah.
All right.
And what we do there is we'll train there and practice there, and then normally we'll go play on, the next city that weekend.
Yeah. The Loco Beach Coconuts drafted Tanner Allen. He's on their roster. You can go to the Banana Ball website and see it. Now, if you're like me, you might have been a little bit of a late adopter, to the Banana Ball thing. I caught some of it last year. I haven't been to one. I didn't go to the one in Starkville. I haven't been to one. I just saw a couple on television. They start, like if you go, he's on the Loco Beach Coconuts 2026 roster as an outfielder. Some other names you'll know on that team are Keegan James, right-handed pitcher, South Haven, former state player, and Peyton Chatinier, infielder, Ole Miss from Cypress, Texas. And there might be another one or two, but you can see the whole list. So there's some familiarity. And their first game, Tanner and the Loco Beach Coconuts' first game, is February 26th. They open up in Tallahassee. Can you do a backflip?
So that's in the works right now. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of this, I'm going to have to get outside my comfort zone with some of this stuff. And I'm honestly excited about it.
Yeah.
Anytime you get an opportunity to get out of your comfort zone, that's how you grow, right? And I told them, said, guys, look, I'm going to have to be coached at some of this stuff, but I'm going to tell you this as well. I didn't get to where I was in my baseball career without being coachable.
Now, listen, I don't remember exactly what he told me when we recorded. It's like an hour-long podcast. I think, though, he said that he went to the tryout dressed as Batman. I think you might want to go back and look and see. I think that's what he told me. Now, it was the Mississippi Outdoors podcast, so we did get around to some hunting talk with Tanner.
And then I remember the first deer I ever killed. I was with my dad.
Okay.
It was on New Year's Day.
How old were you?
I was probably 8 years old.
Okay.
So 243, Ruger 243. And, man, we were sitting there, and we were sitting in these cedars, and there was a lot of shooting lanes going through them. And all morning we've been seeing does go back and forth. And I'm not going to lie to you, I've done missed twice, okay? Okay. So I ain't killed one yet. So that morning, I remember, like, a buck came out at, like, 9 o'clock. My dad, like, shoot at him. And I got on him, I shot. Boom, he dropped right on the spot.
That was Tanner Allen. Okay, so y'all go look at the whole thing. They put it out there today. I don't know if you knew that. Okay, there's a couple of things about it. The banana ball baseball stuff, it pulled me in last year. The first time that remember exactly when it was. Just remember, turn on the television, and they were playing in the Titans stadium in Nashville, and like the stadium was full. It was like 50,000 people who were watching them. And that's the first thing I saw was a guy catch a fly ball, and he does a backflip while he catches it. And it pulled me in. Well, Tanner Allen's going to be playing for the team at Loco Beach. There's other State and Ole Miss players on that roster. You got Savannah Bananas. I don't know what all the teams are, but I'm about to look at them and see who else is on the roster. I got really excited about it. And so, little over a month, like a month and 10 days, and he'll be playing baseball. And then I was looking at the schedule. They play forever. Like his team, Tanner Allen's team, starts at the end of February, and they're still playing in October. It's slightly longer than a Major League Baseball season. All right, look, we're just getting started with you here, staying connected because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. Your texts, your comments, your calls coming up, plus headlines. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon.
that ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole mean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend.
Get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now.
On the Zone 105.9 and worldwide
At the Zone1059.com.
All right, back with you in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team. Bulldog Mississippi's here on YouTube, gave us an afternoon. Same to you. Tip of the cap, afternoon to you. Sven said Savannah Bananas are way more fun than the Dodgers or the Yankees. Old Tackle chiming in that Tanner Allen's an all-time great dog, and he is. He definitely is. Sven said that Banana Ball has a huge YouTube presence, and you literally can watch or rewatch every game. Real unnamed texter, Country Pleasing text line, said, so is Tanner Allen out of the minor leagues, or can they play both? No, I think he's I think he walked away from the minor league stuff and walked straight into being drafted and onto a roster in this Banana Ball League. See, and here's what I'm looking at, real unnamed. Okay, his team plays their first game on the 26th of February. His team they're all based out of Savannah. His team is the Loco Beach Coconuts. Okay, but there is one team listed on here that's not based out of Savannah, and it's the Indianapolis Clowns. So you have the Indianapolis Clowns, the Loco Beach Coconuts. You got the Texas Tailgaters. Then you have the Firefighters, the Party Animals, who we saw last year in person in the state of Mississippi, and then the Savannah Bananas. And website, tickets, locations, all that kind of stuff. But I was really fascinated kind of hearing Tanner talk about the drafting process. He joked that I think it was like the fourth or fifth time that he's been drafted. He said, I guess the Army's next. They're going to draft me next. But, yeah, he said he went to the tryout in a Batman costume and throw and hit. And they're like, yeah, we got a spot for you. So he's going to be playing on this team starting next month. I guess they're practicing right now. And then all the way into October, all over the southeastern United States. And that's the other thing, too. Like some of these other teams, they play in different locations. There's one team, they're playing games in Washington and South Dakota. Tanner's team, the Loco Beach Coconuts, open on February 26th in Tallahassee, Florida. And then they're in Frisco, Texas, and then Little Rock, Arkansas, then San Diego, California, Conway, South Carolina. Now, it says that their home games, well, not necessarily. So home or away, I guess it just depends who but they also go to Charleston, South Carolina, of course, Savannah, Georgia, Amarillo, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada, Wichita, Kansas, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Shout out Office fans. Orlando, Milwaukee, Jersey Shore, New Jersey. They go to New Hampshire, San Antonio, Jacksonville, Portland, Maine, Maryland, Minneapolis. Hold on to your wallet. Wilmington, Delaware, St. Louis, Missouri, Foxborough, Massachusetts, Lexington, Kentucky, Birmingham, Alabama. They come to he and the Local Beach Coconuts will play in Biloxi in September, late September. You'll be at the end of the first month of football. They'll be playing in Biloxi, and then they wind it all up in Savannah in October when they have a championship down there. Yeah, so that's what you look. It's really cool to me. To me, it is. Yeah, and I think that Sven says, I can't speak for every team, but the Savannah Bananas sell out every time they play. That's what I'm saying. What pulled me in sort of on it, Sven, I was a late adopter. I just randomly turned the television on when I think we're even on vacation. I just turned it on. It pops up. I looked at it for 5 minutes. They're doing a big pan of the football stadium where the Titans play in Nashville. It's slam full of 50,000 people watching this baseball game. And then the guy catches a fly ball doing a backflip. I was kind of in after that. David and Brandon texted the show. He said, I don't know much about Bananas Ball, but do they make decent money? He says, is there a championship? Well, yeah, sounded to me like you can go listen to the whole conversation. He talked a lot about it, that and hunting on the Mississippi Outdoors podcast. Tanner Allen, they put that episode out today. But it sounded to me like they make pretty good money. And there is a championship. It's on the schedule. It says their championship is the first week of October, and they play it in Savannah. J-Rock texted and said the Indianapolis Clowns have been around for over 75 years. At least that's where Hank Aaron was discovered from. Okay, and I noticed that's the one thing that's really different about these teams. So you look at it, J-Rock, and see what you think. You just go to bananaball.com, all right, bananaball.com. And you'll see the team icons: Savannah Bananas, Party Animals, Firefighters, Texas Tailgaters, Local Beach Coconuts, and then that one, Indianapolis Clowns. And when you click that one, their page is a little different. It's got a historical article to kind of read about them. It talks about it. It even, like you said, it references former Indianapolis Clowns Hank Aaron, Satchel Paige, Goose Tatum, Richard King Tut King, and all of that. And then their schedule, places like Tallahassee, Memphis, Montgomery is in there. They do go to California, back to Georgia, South Carolina. They're going to go to Oklahoma. Like I said, okay, Tacoma, Washington, Kansas City, Morgantown, West Virginia. They're making the rounds. It's really cool. I want to learn more about it. Jared says on Facebook, the Harlem Globetrotters are greater than the Savannah Bananas. It's a little different, though, because they're actually competing. They don't always win, do they? Like the Globetrotters had just they just basically had a sacrificial lamb. Who was it? What was the name of their team they always played? Had the same name every time. But I think the Savannah, they actually win and lose, don't they? I believe they do. Anyway, see what you think about all that. I was excited about it, and you can listen to what Tanner had to say about it. He's a really interesting guy. You could tell he was very excited about it. And also that we recorded that conversation for the podcast with Tanner right after they'd had the alumni baseball game at Duty Noble, the Clark and Palmero teams, that was a big hit, and he played. And I want to say he had 3 hits, and somebody said he had a triple. And he had some funny comments about being sore after legging out a triple and hadn't been doing much. You can get out of shape real fast. You're going to check that. Yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you. Blind Squirrel said it. The Generals, old tackle pointed out. Yeah, the Globetrotters play the Washington Generals every time. Somebody texted me that also. That's who it was. And they beat them every time because it was for entertainment. They're putting on a show. But I think the thing that's a little different about the Bananas deal is they're actually really competing, I think. Because it's a little harder to do a just for your entertainment baseball deal when you're throwing live pitching up there and hitting it with a bat, right? Because it's a little bit harder to design that or choreograph or orchestrate that than it would be the basketball thing. So let's see. Sven says, let me tell you something. He said, Bananas versus Firefighters sold out Berlin Olympia Stadium that holds 80,000 people. He said every 2 to 3 years they play in Europe, Asia, or in Latin America. Really? I mean, that's incredible. It's just incredible. You know, of all the brilliant business ideas that people have come up with, that you look at it and you go, okay, tip of the cap, super duper props to that guy for dreaming this up. I mean, you're selling out NFL football stadiums to watch you play kind of a wild, goofy style of baseball with weird rules and stuff. It's fantastic. It's a great example of thinking outside the box. All right. On the tracks with your comments. Some people talking about basketball last night. State took another loss. Portal stuff. Some people have some thoughts on that. We'll get to your texts, your comments. Headlines coming up after this. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the state. Let's head over to the phone line, the Junction phone. Junction Delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. Hey, and speaking of a Prince, by the way, tip of the cap, young Samuel Prince, he's lighting it up on a high school basketball court. Last night for Leak Academy, he went over 3,000 career points. How about that? I mean, that's filling it up right there now. Chip off the old block. All right, over to the phone, the Junction phone. It is our man Dog Tired in Florence. What's up, Dog Tired?
Oh, not much. How you guys doing today?
Just right.
Hey, kind of late to the show. I don't know if y'all talked about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
did yesterday. But,
we did talk about it some yesterday because I think it broke while we were on the air, and I was, a little shocked by it. What do you think?
Well, I don't know whether to be happy or glad or sad or what. I'm kind of just in a quandary, I guess. I don't know. It's like we're about to venture into something. We, as in the Steelers, are about to get into something that these other 8 teams are going through, and I don't know if we're going to get the pick of the litter or not.
Yeah.
But hopefully we would. I was looking up the value of teams. Of course, the Cowboys are the most valuable, but they're all run by businessmen. Business ventures bought teams or whatever. But the Steelers and the Packers are the 2 teams to me that seem like they're the most down to earth, and like the Steelers, the Rooney family just absolutely controls. That's all they do is football. So,
let me ask you this, okay? Really as a Steelers fan, how would you feel about John Harbaugh since he's available?
If you could get past him being the Ravens, which is our bitter enemy,
I know.
I guess that would be, as far as football acumen and discipline and all that. He's an excellent coach. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. The jagged peel of being a Ravens coach for so many years, that would be some getting used to. But yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I think from a distance, because I don't have a dog in the hunt, that looks like a sure enough fit to me. Harbaugh and the Steelers.
Yeah.
Shoot, that looks like a fit to me. But
well, he's got all the football, legacy and all that other stuff, and then he's used to the cold weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets no colder in Baltimore than it does Pittsburgh, so he's got all that. I mean, what I'm saying is, it wouldn't be a climate change for him.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
Like getting McDaniel from Miami might be a different deal because he freezes to death.
He might do it. He might do it.
Hey, another question, Joe. You was talking about the Savannah Bananas. Didn't they come to Starkville last year? Yeah,
the party animals did. So they're kind of like the number 2 team, I think, or whatever. But it was incredible by all accounts of people who went. It was incredible.
But they said the tickets were expensive, like almost $300 in some cases. But the food is cheap. They work it out. Supposedly they work it out to where the ticket sales is by the promotional, but their owner, the Bananas owner, wants all the concessions to be cheap for some reason. I don't know if that's true or not.
I've never been to one. I don't know. And they sold it out so quickly too. It's like as soon as they announced they were coming, it was like boom, tickets gone. So it's really cool. I'm looking forward to watching Tanner Allen play. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll hang up listening. Y'all have a good day.
You too, Dog Tired. Thanks for the call. Good to hear from you. All right, let's hit headlines. Here we go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Y'all know Went. Old Went McGee, old buddy, old pal. He's with the Mortgage Man Group. And 2 days from today, this Friday, the 16th, from 11 to 2 at his place there in Ridgeland, the Mortgage Man Group offices powered by Illuminate Bank. 11 to 2 this Friday. It is a home buyer seminar. So, whether you're preparing to buy a home or maybe you're in that business of guiding clients through the process, that seminar is going to give you all the answers, give you a chance to have some face-to-face too. So that's this Friday there in Ridgeland, and we'll give you details of that going forward. All right. First up, the Buffalo Bills versus the Broncos. Divisional game. The Bills have the number one rushing team in the NFL, and the Broncos are getting a defensive boost. They just found out that linebacker Dre Greenlaw, one of their biggest free agency acquisitions this past offseason, has returned to the practice field, and he is on track to play in the game on Saturday at Mile High. So good news for Broncos defense and Broncos fans. Golf. See, I did you like Beaver did me in that text message when he sent me a picture of the baby pig. He just said, pig. Golf. Tiger Woods, in his own words, really happy that Brooks Koepka is back on the PGA Tour. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is Tiger said that he's still a ways off from being able to play, any competitive golf himself. But he called it incredible for all the fans. Now, how do you feel about it? That's Tiger Woods getting Bruce Koepka back in the PGA Tour. Incredible for all the fans. And we were talking about coaching changes there on good teams with Dog Tired in Florence, who's a Pittsburgh fan. And not head coach, but we got a coaching change in the Eagles organization. Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator, he is no longer. They had a precipitous drop in offensive production this year with Kevin Patullo on the offensive side. So here they are out of the playoffs, lose this past week. 49ers big win. 49ers defense kind of shut them down, particularly second half. And so they fire their offensive coordinator. And those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. And again, this Friday, 11 to 2, Went McGee and the Mortgage Man Group are hosting a home buyer seminar. Whether you're a buyer or, refinance or any questions, it's there on West Jackson Street in Ridgeland. This Friday, 11 to 2, home buyer seminar hosted by Went McGee and the Mortgage Man Group. So go check them out. Yeah, basketball from last night. Okay, here's what we'll do. I know I got some text messages on that, and we'll get to it. Bama beat State last night in Starkville 97-82. Nice little easy 15-point win. 61 points in the second half for Alabama. Tennessee in 2 overtimes over A&M. And Florida went on the road and beat Oklahoma. Ole Miss plays tonight. They're at Georgia. Whole bivvy of other SEC games if that's your style. Auburn goes to Missouri. Kentucky's at LSU. Vandy on the road at Texas. And South Carolina at Arkansas. Vandy must have spent some money on basketball too, didn't they? They're pretty good. I mean, they're undefeated. They're pretty good. So we've always known that, Vandy, they're alums. They have money. They just never poured it into their sports teams because, I don't know, maybe they didn't feel like they could get away with it like you could if you were Georgia or Alabama. But in this environment, there's nothing to get away with. There are no rules. Crime is not up. We don't have laws. So you can spend what you want to spend, and they're spending it, apparently. They're spending on a little basketball team as well. That's the way it looks to me. Jared, are you saying number 8 for Alabama? Is that what you're saying? Is that one player who's a number? Who would that be? I'm looking in the box score here. I don't know who it would be because I don't see jersey numbers. Let's see. Alabama had somebody score 32. Good gracious. Hubbard had 23 last night. Went 3 for 10 from 3. They had a kid go for 32, went 3 for 5 and 10 for 14 at the free throw. No, 10 for 14 from the field. And he's saying, they only had 8 players. What? I thought I was looking at more than 8 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They had 10. They got 10 in the box. Score, not 8, but still. Oh, Sven, we were talking about those preseason baseball rankings yesterday. I guess they're fine to talk about. We don't have anything else, but I'm very wary of preseason baseball rankings. At least that's just me. All right, your text messages, your comments coming up here in the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's
At the Zone 1059.com.
All right, back with you. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Jared said the commentators all night talked about them only having 8 available. Maybe some of their GPA players got in late. That must have been it. Yeah, that must have been it. Must have been it because I looked at the box and it said there were 10 that played minutes. So they had 5 off the bench and then, of course, 5 starters. So, one of them played 1 minute and one of them played 2 minutes. And so, that would explain it, wouldn't it? I mean, there it is, Jared. I mean, you're basically dead on accurate there. So you've got 8 players that played any real, sure enough, significant minutes. 2 that were, and get in there and get your feet wet. And, what'd you call them? GPA. GPA players. Somebody had commented earlier, I think it was Bulldog, Mississippi, who said, I can't believe they blew a 14-point lead. And then he followed that up with that final score, 97-82. They came out of the half and put 15 back the other way. Yeah, that's 2 games in a row where that happened to State that way? Have a lead and then just kind of get swarmed and overcome. Principal texted and said both Vandy boys and girls basketball teams are undefeated. How about that? They got serious about basketball up there and spent some money. I guess they got it to spend. Regarding the bananas in baseball, Nick said, imagine a football league like this. Wonder how that would work. Have Nick Fitzgerald out there doing backflips on the slip and slide on 3rd down. I don't know what it would look like, and how dangerous or not it would be. I don't really care. I just want to see it. You know what I mean? I've gotten to a point now where far be it for me to waste time trying to figure out the details, me and you. Just let's let some young person figure it out. Let me see it. Try it. It may take, I guarantee you this, Nick, a bananas version of football would be a lot more interesting to watch than these one-off football leagues that keep popping up out here. And I mean promoting it to the 10th. What's the one now, the XFL or whatever it is? I don't watch. I hadn't watched it. Probably not gonna. But now you put Nick Fitzgerald out there on the slip and slide on 3rd down, I'm in. What have things come to, Nick? Ezra texted the show and said former Belhaven University pitcher Brett Sanchez is also going to be playing banana ball next year. He was the Northwoods League Pitcher of the Year 2 years ago in pro ball. Now that's cool. Which team is he on? The more local flavor, the better. I'm all about it. I will watch. Hey, speaking of basketball, also, you need to know this. If you're a State fan, I don't know a lot of the details. I just kind of caught wind of it. Here's some cliches and stuff for you. I caught wind of it down the grapevine. I don't know the details exactly, but among other like basketball homecoming / reunion festivities and stuff this weekend, there's going to be an honoring of the 96 Final Four team. Because we're at 30 years ago. I don't know if y'all realize that. This is the 30th anniversary of that. Isn't it? Goodness, it is. Whew. So 30 years ago, Richard Williams led them to the Final Four. I was reminded about it a minute ago as I saw where Joel and Logan interviewed Coach Williams on their show for State. I'm going to try to listen to that later. I really think a lot of Coach Williams. I sure love hearing him call them games, too, on the radio with Neil. You talk about a dynamic duo. But anyhow, they're going to have most or all or whatever of the Final Four guys back and honor them at the game this weekend. And so looking forward to that. I've talked to Whit some over the years. I see Bart some. Trying to think who else. I may have bumped into Daryl a time or two, over the years. And I know that Dan Pierce been around, and of course his kid's a big time recruit and plays it. Am I right? Plays at MRA, but he's not someone that I've bumped into, randomly, but I sure would love to. It's I look back at that whole experience with such fond memories. If you're a State fan old enough to have lived through it, I know you do too, and you got your own stories. But my second semester in college. My class in football, we signed and showed up to college in the fall of '95, and so we were still in the freshman dorm, haven't even finished our first year of school. This is our first time to be a student at State as fans of the basketball team. And here they are winning and winning and winning, and they go to the Final Four. And even though some of the specifics have faded over the years, I can picture some of it like it was yesterday. Paul Mooney and I, we were roommates living in Hawthorne dorm. All the freshman football players, we were living in that dorm with others, baseball players, just some who were just regular students, that was our deal. And I think Paul and I got a little superstitious because we would go to different rooms sometimes while the game's going on, watch a little bit. And it's like we'd go to a couple of teammates' rooms and things would start going bad. We go back to our room, just me and him watching on our TV. It'd start going good. So we got a little superstitious, and we were watching, the Elite Eight game, just me and him. He's on the couch. I'm in a chair in front of the TV, our room. And, you can hear the whole dorm shaking every time something good would happen, people celebrating, jumping up and down. And they win the game, and we bust out of our room to run up and down the halls and hoot and holler, and everyone else was. And that sort of naturally, it was crazy, getting caught up in a celebration like that. It sort of naturally just went to the doors and right out into the street. And the next thing you know, we're running out around and we're high-fiving people we don't know, fellow students, and yelling, screaming. And then within, it seemed like seconds, cars. People were in their cars, piled into cars and trucks and driving through campus with windows down, hollering and screaming and honking horns. And it became like a parade, like this spontaneous celebration on campus, the same way you've seen in these big cities when the baseball team wins or the football team wins or something, And so then Kevin Sluter, who was down the hall from us, and he had a pickup truck. And it had one of those bed covers, but you could remove it. He's like, hey, let's get in our truck, get my truck. And so he drives around, takes the bed cover off the back of his truck. We all pile in the back of his truck and join the parade route, riding through campus. And then it became just about, it was hours of that. Everybody's out on the street. We're so old, we don't have cell phones back then. So everybody, male, female, seniors, freshmen, everybody's out on the street. Cars driving through, everybody celebrating. It was wild. It was the only time I've ever been a part of anything like that. And it was celebrating that team winning to go to the Final Four. Some of the guys, too, I can't name the ones that did, they went and joined the big crowd out at the airport welcoming them back. I've always been an early riser. I get up early. And I do remember being said, hey, Matt, let's go. And I'm like, no, y'all go ahead. I'll be asleep when that happens. I'll look at the highlights on the news in the morning. But it was wild. It was wild. And you know what? I will say this too. You know what made it even more awesome when that happened? We all knew each other. Like, we all knew Bart. He was a freshman just like us. We'd hung out and spent time together. We had classes together with Tyrone and those guys. We were all freshmen. You saw Whit all over campus. You saw Russell. How could you miss him? All 6'10" of him. You saw Dampier, Wilt, Daryl. You know, you see him in the facility. You see him at the cafeteria. It was really a cool thing. We all kind of felt like we knew each other, even though we'd been there only, for us freshmen, only a couple of semesters. It was just an example of one of the really, really unique, cool things that you hope you get to experience when you go to college. We got to experience it because of Richard Williams and his staff and that team in that year. And it'll always be really, really, really special to me. Hour 1 in the books. Hour 2 coming up. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli. fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places.
It's Jackson, where it's time for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time. And here's the pitch. It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know. Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Here we go. Hour number 2 of the show, getting started. Thanks for hanging around and being a part of it and tuning in however you are. Hey to you on the live stream. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, or X, type in a comment, post it, pops up right here, where I can see it in one nice, neat column here on this computer in the studio, and then I can click it, and then it pops up on the screen, and then you can see it there. That's one way to be a part of the show. You can also text the show on the aforementioned Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. Hands down, my opinion. Shared by most others. I'm on some black pepper and cheddar flavored sausage right now. Yeah. Ate some for breakfast this morning. Feel free to text me. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. And call me on the junction phone, especially if you called me in hour 1 and a long-winded host got going and didn't realize you were hanging on there because he didn't look at the right screen. Call me back on the junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state. Convenience redefined. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. So it's like you pull up to the pump, fuel in your tank, go inside, a little fuel in your belly. From the Junction Deli. Number to call, 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. Oh, yeah, if you're just tuning in, we had the news, too, about, news. You may have already known it. It's been in the books for a little while, but we released a new episode today of the Mississippi Outdoors podcast from the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. And our guest is Tanner Allen, former baseball player at State. And we, of course, talked hunting with him and, his life in the outdoors growing up in and around Mobile, Alabama. And, of course, when he was in college on the baseball team at State. But he was talking also about having been, drafted by the Banana Ball bunch. He's going to play for them.
Daddy, if I get to step on the field for 2 hours a night and entertain somebody in the stands who might not be having a great day, might be going through some of the normal chaos that happens each and every day. If I could be a light to somebody on a baseball field for 2 hours and be able to let them escape that, I'm going to do it. That's why I made the decision I'm going to do it.
All right. So who drafted you?
Loco Beach Coconuts.
Loco Beach Coconuts. And where is that located?
So it's going to be out of Savannah. We're all out of Savannah.
All right.
And what we do there is we'll train there and practice there, and then normally we'll go play on, the next city that weekend.
Yeah. The season for him starts at the end of February in Tallahassee. And, I think he said after he went to the first workout or the first practice dressed as Batman. I think that's what he told me. You might have to listen to the whole thing and see. I think he said he went dressed as Batman. That sound you hear is hot coffee being poured in the cup there from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com, get your coffee there. Big 1 pound bags of it, so you're not going to run out anytime soon. And single origin blends they've come up with and developed over the years, and you will not be disappointed. I don't know what I'd do without it. I'm almost too dependent on this coffee. I'll just go ahead and admit it. Sven says a football version of the bananas would not work because it's too violent. Football without tackling isn't football. He said flag football, maybe. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Old tackle. with a quote of the day on the YouTube live stream from Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect. The way my luck's running, if I was a politician, I'd be honest. All right. So they're going to have members of the 96 Final Four basketball team back in town this weekend in Starkville. Looking forward to that. And Jared commented on Facebook and said, 96 honor this weekend. He says, seems tactical. Doesn't the center have a kid that's pretty good in high school right now? Yeah, I mean, he does, but you're at the 30th anniversary. So these big round numbers like 25 and 30 and 35, you got to take advantage of that. And try to pick a time when people are going to be there, and they're playing Ole Miss this weekend. Jared said he was in 5th grade on a trip to D.C. during that Final Four run back in 96. Said several of us were trying to find TVs to see while going to the monuments in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I mean, think about it, Jared. Life before cell phones. You know, you couldn't just pull out your phone and, thanks to C Spire coverage, you know, see what the score was. You'd had to find a TV somewhere. John in Rolling Fork texted and said, spring semester of 96 was my last at State. I think the year before they beat number 1 ranked Arkansas in the hump. Good times. Man, look, I know it. Look, John, you and I, our generation, so you're a sort of a cycle ahead of me. So you were a senior, I was a freshman. But all during that time, from about there, really about a decade's worth, right? From let's say about 94 to about 04. About a decade's worth of, with the Final Four run that you're talking about in the middle. It was Electric City in Humphrey Coliseum on Wednesday nights and on Saturday nights. And you probably are nodding, admitting that, you know, what I remember is even as a student, like you could get left out, not get in there. And if you did get in, it was packed. I mean, tell me I'm wrong, but it seemed like we had anywhere like a minimum of 7,000 people at home games, minimum, like a legit 7, but a whole bunch. I mean, most, and on Saturdays, most of your Saturday home games during that decade, you had it nearly full. I mean, it's 9,000 people in there, sometimes 10, depending on who it was. You know, you play Kentucky, you'd have 10,000 in there, and it was electric. The atmospheres were phenomenal. The reason you go on up to about 04, you're talking about the Timmy Bowers, Lawrence Roberts, Shane Power teams, Winsome Frazier, Brandon Vincent teams, and they packed it out. Like, it's packed. Every home game. It was something. And it was, I tell you another thing too, John. Okay, so like I said, you're kind of a class cycle ahead. You were a senior spring in 96. I was a freshman. But think about what that started for my group and the class that I was in at State. Our freshman basketball season, the team goes to the Final Four. The next 2 years, 97 and 98, back-to-back trips to the College World Series for the baseball team. Not to mention, then 98 football wins the Western Division championship. We go to play in the SEC championship game in Atlanta. And our last year in 99, in football, we won 10 games and beat Clemson in the Peach Bowl. That was our college career. The class that I was in, that we came in with, so fall of 95 being our first semester, that's what we experienced back to 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 back. That's all we knew. Final Four, College World Series the next year, another College World Series. At the same time, the football team wins the SEC West, plays in a championship game. Then another trip to College World Series, and then the football team wins 10 games and beats Clemson in the Peach Bowl, and we graduate. And we thought, man, this is great. We have really started something. And at least from a football perspective, right after that, it went crash landed. Basketball kept it going for a while. But that was you talk about being born at the right time to go to State. I am in that bunch for sure. Robbie commented on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, "What's up, Matt? What a cool story. Back in the good old days before cell phones." I mean, really, think about it. And you could talk to anybody who was there on campus when it happened. They'd tell you the same thing. It turned into a street celebration of everyone exited whatever building they were in and were either on foot yelling and screaming as the parade went by, or were on some vehicle in the parade throughout all of campus. And it went on for hours. Not a single cell phone that didn't exist. That may be why we had the celebrations like that. That was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, Blitz. He says, definitely 30 years ago. I graduated high school in 96 and have a 30-year reunion coming up. How's that feel? It's getting away from us, y'all. And that's what's happening. It is getting away from us. Headlines coming up. Hour 2 rolling along here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend.
Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Possum Neck Joe texted in and he said maybe some of those, maybe they can let some of those 96 Bulldogs suit up and play in the game this weekend. Yeah. Or their kids. I think several of them have kids playing college basketball, high school and college basketball. I think they do. I'll try to find more. I'll try to find out more about that and let you know. Right now, though, we're going to flip it over to the Junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. Forgot I had that there for a minute. On line one, it's Winslow. Winslow, thanks for calling. What's up?
Well, I got a Final Four story for you.
Let me hear it.
All right. Well, I was fortunate enough to get tickets and went in '96, and my buddy and I had actually gone to Lexington the weekend before, and of course we won on Friday night, so Saturday was an off day. So we actually went ahead and booked travel, hotels, flights, and all that stuff, but we didn't know yet if we were going to get tickets. And he didn't have season tickets, but I did. So I called and, got two. And then I told him, I said, I couldn't get you any tickets. And he said, I want to go anyway. He said, I'll just mill around outside. He said, that's bound to be fun. So I said, okay. So they called me back Wednesday and tell me, do you want two more tickets? And I said, oh, heck yes. So we got four. And then we flew into Philadelphia, rented a car, and drove on up to the Meadowlands. And we got in there that night. And of course, State played the first game, lost to Syracuse, and then Kentucky and UMass were playing the second game. And my seats, I was on the top row on the end line. And so between games, it was a madhouse out there in the concourse, and people were just rotating around. Mm-hmm. I mean, after a few minutes, you'd see the same people that you saw, the last time you went around, and they were all trying to buy tickets, and I was telling them, okay, I want 500 each, which was absurd, but they were turning them down. And then the second time around, I got to this Syracuse guy, and he said, were you the 500? I said, yeah. He said, I gave you 250. And I'm on the top row along the end line, and I got $250 each, and that $1,000 actually wound up paying for my trip. But the funny thing is that it was late in the Kentucky UMass game, and you look over there, and I forget which side. Kentucky may have been on the right and UMass on the left, but when it got evident that Kentucky was going to win, you saw their fans walking up the aisle up towards the portal. I'm thinking, what in the world are they doing? They're going to win this game. Why are they leaving? Yeah. Well, then about a minute later, you see those same fans in blue, and they come out the portal over there at the UMass section. They're going over there and basically holding their fingers up, and buying the tickets off the UMass people, literally before that game ended. But,
How about that?
It was an experience. It sure was, even if we didn't win it.
That's something else, something I've never thought of. Yeah, so single venue, and on day one, two fan bases are going to be eliminated. And I guess what back then too, it's all paper tickets back then, right? Physical tickets.
Yeah, it sure was, and I consider myself fortunate because I told that story to another guy that went one time, and he said, you were lucky. He said there were plainclothesmen there in the crowd, some of them dressed, with Syracuse gear on, and he said, you're lucky you did not make that offer to one of them because you'd have spent the rest of the weekend in jail. And it's like, well, I guess I was lucky then.
Yeah, that's funny. That's another thing I didn't think of. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't spend the weekend in jail and you got your trip paid for. That was a heck of a deal, though.
All right, that's all I got, Matt. Thank you.
Yep, appreciate you, Winslow. Great to hear from you. I didn't think about that. So, yeah. Hey, and I tell you, so he was talking about those other teams you had that year in the Final Four. So State was there. And then, of course, you had UMass, Kentucky, right, and Syracuse. And, I mentioned it a minute ago. It's actually what reminded me about it. And we started talking about this today on the show as I saw over here. I looked up Mississippi. Like if you just search Mississippi State or Hail State on Twitter, all kinds of stuff. I'm sorry, on X, all kinds of stuff pops up. Well, and it was Joel Coleman and Logan Lowry. They do the podcast for the school, and they interviewed Coach Williams. It made me think of it. And then during the break, I watched the little clip that they shared to promote their show, their interview with him about all that. And he told an interesting story about, and I guess I'm giving some of it away. You can go see him tell the story. It's much more interesting. And there's more details there. But about, you make the Final Four, you go into New York, and they had a press event at Radio City Music Hall. And, he told something about, they had the Rockettes in there with this thing and all. And he said, he looked around, there's 4 coaches. And he goes, there's John Calipari. There's Rick Pitino. He says, there's Jim Boeheim. And then Richard Williams. He said, I'm thinking, what is different about this one versus these other? He said, man, I'm coaching JUCO basketball just a little while ago, and now here I am sitting up here with these 3. It was a neat story from his perspective. Be a neat thing. It was a neat thing, for sure. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, get on in here. We have time? I think maybe we do. Headlines, hour number 2. Let's go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Quickly. Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. 𝐌𝐤 and Company are going to have a home buyer seminar there in Ridgeland on Jackson Street this Friday, 11 to 2. Headline number 1, the Broncos are getting one of their run stoppers back for this game on Saturday. It's good news for the Broncos. Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, healthy, going through practice, going to play. It's good news, too, because the Bills are going in there as the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. In golf, Tiger Woods gave his stamp of approval to getting Brooks Koepka back on the PGA Tour. His quote, "It's incredible for all fans." Tiger's excited about it. But then he went on to say that it's going to be a while before he's able to play. And then finally, another coaching change in the NFL. But this is not a head coach. But the Eagles are firing Kevin Patullo, offensive coordinator. So he struggled against banged-up 49ers. 49ers win in Philadelphia. Season's over for the Eagles, and they're making a change at offensive coordinator. You remember the whole story about him being a friend of Nick Sirianni and all that. Got the job, and pretty early on in that game the other night, the Eagles fans, they are the Eagles fans, but they're booing their offense mercilessly early on in that ball game. And I'm sitting there going, look, defending Super Bowl champs, home playoff game, early in the game. Hold up on the boos, but they already knew. And so that's those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. And again, the Mortgage Man Group and Illuminate having a home buyer seminar this Friday, so 2 days from today, this Friday, 11 to 2, it'll be while this show's going on, over there on West Jackson Street in Ridgeland, hosted by Went McGee. Went! my man, and the Mortgage Man Group. So get your questions answered. The note I have here is buying a home doesn't have to feel overwhelming, whether you're preparing to buy or guiding clients through the process. This seminar is going to give you clear answers, smart strategies, and confidence for every step ahead. And so if that's you, if you're in that, if that's where your head is right now, buying, refinancing, in between, that's where you go. And go to that seminar on Friday, 11 to 2, there at the Mortgage Man Group in Ridgeland. Still got a ways to go here, hour 2. And I got an interesting text message here from Miko on the Country Pleasing text line. I won't give you the details, but he led into it. This is Matt. This is kind of long here, but this is how I would fix the transfer portal and NIL funding. And we got a list of things he would do here to fix it, so we'll read that next and see what y'all think about it. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, And let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if any
All right, back with you. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. G Bama boy, welcome to the show. First, after telling us that Bama beat Hail State last night, and they did. Beat them pretty good. They even overcame a deficit. Yeah, he said they're going to play each other in football in 26. Old rivalry renewed. Yeah, it's kind of one of those proximal rivalries. That's about it. But yeah, that's right. All right, Miko texted the show. He says, Matt, kind of long, but here's how I would fix the transfer portal and NIL funding. I don't know. It's fine. I'm not even picking on you at all, Miko. It's just I almost feel obligated to, every time I can, point it out. We should be calling it something other than NIL. I mean, it's the accepted term for the money that's paid to the players. But it isn't name, image, and likeness, not in application, not in definition. We really should be calling it what it is. It's straight up. It's salaries. It's pay for play. We are paying them to play. In some cases, we're paying them to come there and to stay. But it has none of its name, image, and likeness as that term and moniker was given to it from the get-go. But I know that's just the term that we use. You're right. We use it. We probably shouldn't. Okay, point made. And he says, all right, #1, implement a national NIL cap, roster-based allocation model. 2, tie the NIL eligibility to academic eligibility. Yep, link those two things. 3, limit the transfer portal entries to 1 free transfer per degree cycle. He's got some subpoints, and I'll come back to that. 4, create a defined transfer window, one window only. 5, standardize NIL contracts through a national clearinghouse and not through individual programs. I mean, that's a big one, I think. And then he said, number 6, institute anti-tampering enforcement with real penalties. With how it's done and it's monitored, you got to monitor it. Yeah. And then he said, create an independent college football governing body headed by Nick Saban. Yeah. And all of those would be steps if you could find a way to free of constant lawsuits, implement some of those things, you could start to clean up the mess a little bit and structure it. You know what I mean? Like kind of wrangle it all in there and structure it. It's almost like you could build it into something. You could have a structure, right? Like what you have right now, Miko, it almost feels like what you have right now is compared to there's an open lot out here that you've bought and you're going to build a house on it. And right now we got lumber laying around everywhere. But you don't really have anything. I mean, maybe the slab is poured, but nothing's there. We don't have walls. We got nothing. We haven't framed anything up. We don't have a structure. All we got is just random, free lumber just laying around everywhere. What you're trying to do is get something where you can then begin a process and look up after a little bit. And at the very least, we have a structure framed up and we can then go from there and build this thing. That's kind of how it feels. Okay. Here's the thing, though. And I'm really with you on all of it. But when I look at, like, for number one, for example, so your first point, implement a national NIL cap or pay-for-play cap and roster-based allocation model. Okay, so if you take the idea of a cap, that right now there's a federal, it's basically a law on the cap, not the cap, but the way the revenue share is structured, okay? But think about this, Miko. As soon as anyone at a school or a conference says anything publicly, like we're putting a cap across our league, no one can spend in, quote unquote, here we go, ready, NIL. This is why, to me, it's important. Name, image, and likeness. Well, what is name, image, and likeness by definition? That belongs to that individual in a free society. That's why we've come up with that term, because we have this idea of what? A player should be able to use his own name, his own image, and his own likeness to earn money from that if he's able to do it. That's where all this started to begin with. And if you are classifying it as NIL, you're classifying, we're taking what something is and classifying it as something it isn't and calling it NIL because we're using that loophole of NIL to lie about what we're doing. You see? So then it backfires on you if you try to cap it because legally you can't cap that. True name, image, and likeness. Miko, if you tomorrow, if you had a YouTube channel, okay, and something happens and it becomes viral and you get 10 million followers and you become a super famous, YouTuber, you're earning revenue from the views on your YouTube channel. Let's just say you're a sports guy. Well, when people start wanting you to then go and endorse their product and be a speaker at their upcoming conference, there's nothing legally anyone can do to tell you how little you must make with your own image and likeness. Legally, they can't do it. And so legally, they can't do it to a football player too, because that now lid is off. You see, if we were talking about true NIL, like one player in college who has the ability to really market something, which I would wager with you that, and I wonder if you would agree with this. I wonder if you would agree. If we're making a comparison, this is an extreme example, but if we're making there's no college athlete in America who can market a product better right now than Shaquille O'Neal can. See what I mean? Like Charles Barkley. Okay, these are Hall of Famers in the NBA, I know, but if you take Shaquille O'Neal, he's automatic eyeballs, automatic sales. Anything he endorses blows up. Okay? Well, there's nobody in college athletics that even can come even like 1/1000th of what that type of celebrity can do. Name the college person, the college athlete that strictly from a name, image, and likeness marketing standpoint can actually move product with their face and their name and their endorsement. I don't mean can be passed off as name, image, and likeness and therefore get payment from a booster of that school. No, I mean actually sell stuff to the greater public. There ain't nobody. It doesn't exist. So that's really where we are. It's almost, Miko, what I'm saying is I see people a lot that in good faith, from a good-hearted position, come up with things that would really make a lot of sense to wrangle this thing in and get some structure on it, just like what you're doing. But when I look at it, I go, because you are paying them, frankly, a salary to play football, but we're all lying about it to pass it through the NIL loophole, then you can't limit it. You cannot manage it because you can't even really measure it because we are calling it something it isn't. Because NIL can't be capped. You cannot tell someone that there's a limit to how much they can earn with their own face. Not in our society. You see what I mean? If we would come out here and call it what it is, figure that part out of it first. Let's just be real here. We're paying these guys to play ball. So here's what that needs to be. Whether it's privatizing it, making those sports team as a part, instead of a part of the educational model, maybe it's a part of your marketing arm of your university. Now we can call it what it is. We're actually paying them to play football. And now we can really build a league around that. And it makes sense. But see, that's why when it comes to that, pay for play, but we call it NIL, I'm a little bit hopeless in the idea that there's something that can be done because I think they have created a situation where legally they cannot do anything about it. That's just the way I feel about it right now. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on, get it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedule's fit, and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see.
Right here, right now, on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Yeah, you're right, Jared. Where's the Tylenol? I mean, everything Miko put on this list is so practical and sensible if you could implement it. But I'm just afraid that, we've reached a point where I don't think schools nor the conference or the NCAA as a governing body feel like they can do anything without getting sued to smithereens over it. That's kind of the way I feel about it. For example, Miko said limit transfer portal entries to 1 free transfer per degree cycle. And you go, well, why wouldn't they? That's so simple. Everybody's throwing a fit that even more than just paying kids, there's always been some amount of giving them benefits to come and play for you and stuff, it carried the risk of it, the idea that it was against a rule, so there's some level of risk and depending on if you got investigated or not, but still there's always been some of that. So even more than paying them, the biggest issue is this portal stuff in that you don't know who's going to be around. We got a kid who's going to like his 7th school in 7 years or something like that. It's ridiculous. Nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. Everybody feels like it's ultimately not what's best for players, but players take advantage of it sometimes when they can. And then there are plenty who they just hit the portal because they know they can put their hand out and somebody will put money in it. And that's really what they're transferring for. Well, again, if it's such a problem, why don't they just fix it? Say, nope, we're not doing that anymore. We have now a new across the board, all of NCAA football rule, like you say. We're going to limit transfer portal entries to 1 free transfer per degree cycle. Makes total sense. But who's going to sue them over it? It comes down to the idea of if they get sued again, do they have a leg to stand on or can they afford to stand on the leg? Or do the universities actually want to spend the money standing on that leg? You see what I mean? I think that's what it has sunk to, Miko, is that practical guardrails and guidelines that would structure this thing into something that at least we could all understand what it is or what it's going to become, fall flat at the feet of the guarantee that there are lawyers who have you against the ropes, who see the amount of money that's coming into these schools because of athletics and are licking their chops. That's kind of what I think. I hate to poo-poo the idea and the solutions because there are things that would solve some stuff. It's just you can't get to them. They'll tie it up in court. I just think that's where it is. Oh, man. Let's put that on the soundboard. We'll do the sports first. A little behind the scenes there. On this day in sports. How far are we going back? On this day in 1976, so I was not I had not quite made it here yet into the land of the living. On this day in 1976, Ted Turner purchased the Atlanta Braves. Pretty soon, TBS, Superstation TBS, made them all famous. I'm glad he bought them. That was on January the 14th, 1976. He completed that sale then. On this day in 89, Bobby Knight won his 500th career victory as a college basketball coach. On this day in 2002, 24 years ago, Barry Bonds signed a contract with the Giants for $90 million over 5 years. That was a big contract back then. Now we got guys that can't even stand in his shadow making $100, $200, $300 million. But the game's hurting, they say. Okay, here you go. This is big. On this day in 1972, this show debuted on NBC. Sanford and Son, Fred and Lamont, Aunt Esther, the whole gang. It was a Grady and it had a bunch of characters. See, I don't think I realized, growing up in the 80s, watching all those reruns, and over the years, I don't guess I realized that it started that far back. 72. Yeah, Bubba and Julio. Thanks, Miko. I mean, it's an all-time great. I don't care. It's almost like, the comedy was so sharp and so quick and clever and good and fun and relatively clean, that any generation will watch it and laugh. I just don't care. Even some of today's younger generation, the real knuckleheads who you tell them a good joke and they just kind of stare at you as if they've seen a ghost, Even some of them will laugh at Sanford Son. Like, it's really good. Well, how old do I sound, Miko? Let's see. On this day in 93, TV talk show host David Letterman announced that he was moving from NBC to CBS. It worked out for him. On this day in 97, the Beach Boys guest starred on Home Improvement, on Tim the Toolman Taylor and all that. So there's that. And then there's this. Born on this day. Where is it? We had a birthday I was going to bring to you today. Here it is. Born on this day in 1915. Now hold on to your hat. It's a guy named Mark Goodson. Mark Goodson was born on this day in 1915. He passed away in 92. He is the game show producer who created The Family Feud and The Price is Right. Which, let's be honest, I never heard this guy's name before, but thanks to him, and we need to know who he is, because if we're making a list of the top 5 all-time televised game shows, well, certainly in the top 5 are Family Feud and The Price is Right. But much like Family Feud, if we were looking for the top 2 answers, ironically, I think if you polled any number of people, the top 2 answers, all-time game shows, it's going to be those 2. Family Feud and Price is Right. Now, there'll be a few that would say Jeopardy, but I think it would come in third. That's the top 2. The Price is Right and Family Feud. And that guy, a guy named Mark Goodson, who passed away in 1992. He was born in 1915. He created them both. All right, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Bulldog, Mississippi says Wheel of Fortune. But I guess, do you think that if we were looking for the top two answers and we polled ever how many people, do you think that Wheel of Fortune would displace either Family Feud or The Price is Right out of the top two? You think, I mean, like overall? Certainly, Bulldog, Mississippi, there are people who would say Wheel of Fortune. But ultimately, at the end of the poll, would it displace either of those out of the top two? See, I'm a doubter. I don't think it would. So happy birthday to the late, great Mark Goodson. Created those two. All right. That'll wrap it up for today. I appreciate y'all. It's been fun. All the comments, the phone calls, the texts. If you called and I didn't get to you, I apologize. It's my fault. Let's try it again tomorrow. Same time, same place. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here. See you tomorrow in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. See you then.